If you know anything about any kind of movie drama, you might know something about this, right? If you've seen this before, you would recognize this as the seven dwarves of the new Snow White remake. I'm gonna allow you to take a little guess as to what's wrong with this picture. Only one little person, and let me see, one, two, three, four, five, six. So that's thanks. So that would be 6 out of 7 of the characters being played by just like average people, and only one of them being a dwarf, which I think is completely insane. Little people aren't given roles in Hollywood. Only like one of them being Peter Dinklage, of course. In society, this guy is basically like he's kind of like the mascot of little people in society and in Hollywood, basically. Which, I mean, makes sense. There's not many little people, right? He looks like Rob Zombie in this picture. Oh. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, fucking Peter Dinklage, the person who thinks that he's the fucking mascot of little people just because everybody else thinks so. He's saying that the dwarves in Snow White are offensive or to him or something. Not to probably most other little people who can't get any fucking work. Anyway, you know what? This is horrible. This is just a really bad idea. Peter Dinklage is an asshole, and they should have hired little people for these roles instead of getting just regular ass average people. They could, I mean, I'm pretty sure black dwarves exist. Yeah, this guy. I mean, there's your fucking diversity. Here's your diversity. I mean, come on. Like we couldn't put these people into the movie that has roles for little people? I mean, we have diverse little people. Why couldn't that be translated into this new movie? Why did we hire average like dwarves are real? There's a dwarf right here. You couldn't find 6 other dwarves? Anyway, here comes big Bob Iger back to take over Disney again because Bob Paycheck, he decided to run the company into the ground with Disney Plus. But then big Bob Iger comes back into the House of Mouse, and then Disney completely shit itself, did a complete 180, and they decided, you know what? Let's try to appease everybody. Let's try to appease Rachel Zegler and Peter Dinklage. Let's try to appease these two big people in Hollywood. And instead of hiring actual little people, let's just create a 1-to-1 ratio of all of the original characters from the animated movie into CG characters and just paint them over the actors that were already there. Like, dwarves exist. Little people exist. It's not like they're like a myth or anything. Like, why is this necessary? Bob Iger came back into town, and then he said, let's just go with the most safe route that we can go down. Let's just make a bunch of silly looking little CGI men that look like they're straight out of the original movie, instead of giving people who don't get work in Hollywood giving them work. What, I don't understand what their plan is here. Like, are they going to use the voices from the cast that they already had? Because if we look back over here, a couple of them are of a different ethnicity than the rest of them here. So, look, I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but are there going to be some of these dwarves that are like going to be sounding black? Because that Disney has completely put themselves in a corner here What was this? What was this for? What was this picture? Was this supposed to be the dwarves or not? And I mean, like, honestly, what the hell are they wearing? Like, I've never seen anybody wear any kind of these clothes before in my life. And then they're wearing completely different clothes in the new picture. What are they going to do with this movie? This movie's going to be horrible. There's just too much in the background going on in the making of this movie that there's no shot that this is even going to be entertaining at all in the slightest. Peter Dinklage is an asshole. Rachel Zegler is a bitch. Bob Iger is a pussy. Bob Chapek is a bad CEO. This movie's gonna suck. Fuck Disney. Fuck Disney's 100th year. It was fucking horrible. This year for Disney was like one of the worst, probably in its history. I'm not even kidding about that. Disney celebrated its 100th year. This was their 100th year, and this is what we have to look forward to it. This is come on. Fuck Disney. Disney Plus fucking actually no. Loki season 2 is good. Other than that, actually no. Never mind. Never mind. Don't fuck Disney. Disney's eventually gonna get out of this little thing that they're in. Disney has been around for 100 years. Disney has been the ultimate like powerhouse entertainment company since they started. Disney's not gonna go anywhere. Disney's gonna get back on their feet. But Bob Iger, Rachel Zegler, Peter Dinklage, Bob Paycheck, they all suck. And so does Kathleen Kennedy.